I am proud to introduce to you the single shots.
The hottest band on the charts.
Well, we're not alarmed here at Premiere Scene this evening as we attend the gala screening of Vinyl.
These guys are destined for great big things.
The only problem is, this is the real band.
3 chords. You can write a great punk song with 3 chords.
Mike is very much of an inspirational character, his old person, really, isn't he?
He's a nice guy, Mike, and you know, he's done a lot for music, and he's done a lot for cancer. He's done a lot of things, you know, Mike, and he's a good guy too.
Now you're playing the lead. I'm taking the inspiration from him.
Yeah, I mean, it's his story. It's Mike's story. I'm not playing it. I mean, we're a very different band to what the Alarm was. Me, Keith Allen, and Perry Benson, and Chris Turner are very different. But it's, you know, it's based on that story. Yeah.
Did you want to capture the essence of him?
Not really. In spirit, yes, but I felt it would be, you know, it was a very different kind of thing. They had very big hair, the Alarm, didn't they? And we were quite different from the Alarm. But you know, the music's the same, so there you go.
It's also a comedy, but there's also the truth in that we're dealing with ageism within the music industry. Was that an interesting subject for you to...
It was an interesting subject, and you know, the whole thing about, you know, bands being too old to rock and roll is a bit sad, isn't it? So they got proved wrong, the industry got proved wrong by employing these kids that they thought the music was good, and it was really all the old boys doing the sound.
And did you get to record yourself?
I did, and you know, I helped write the music with Mike, so... and it's my voice on it, so there you go, yeah.
They were old school rockers.
That could be a hit. The band split up years ago. That was the end of that chapter.
Wouldn't it be something? Back in the charts after all these years.
It'd be a bloody miracle, that's what it would be.
It's really exciting, you know, because it's been a long time coming, and to be finally have the moment arrive, it's a dream come true.
Do you remember when you were first approached about the film that was going to be based on your story, really?
Yeah, well, the 45 RPM subterfuge, it broke around the world, and we were invited to America to appear on the late Craig Kilborn show in Los Angeles, and it was at the TV studios. I was approached by the John H. Williams, who's produced the Shrek movies, and said, you know, we're going to make a film about you, boy. It was one of those moments, and I kind of, it was so surreal. I thought, well, we'll never see that, but here we are. You know, it's amazing, and you know, life can be Hollywood as well, and even in its in the living of it.
And did you work very closely with Sara, the director?
Well, that was the other part of the hand of fate in this film, was that when John H. Williams told me that he had a director in mind, and her name was Sara Sugarman, I nearly fell over, because there's only one Sara Sugarman in the world. And I went to school with her. She went out with the bass, playing our punk band in 1977. She was there with us when we played with the Clash and the Buzzcocks. And she really wanted all that music that she'd grown up with, that we'd never recorded. The songs we had in 1977, we never recorded. And we recorded them for this movie. So there's a sort of punk spirit, a real authenticity to the music. And that's come through my relationship with Sara. And she obviously knew a lot about my life, and I can see a lot of it in the film. The only thing that isn't real is I don't live in a caravan.
We've got to sort of dramatise it a bit.
Absolutely, yeah, there's lots of liberties, but hey, that's what artistic license is all about.
And did you get to record new material as well? So is there something that fans of The Alarm will enjoy, but also some new stuff as well?
Absolutely, there's a lot of original music in the film, and a lot of it wrote with Phil Daniels himself, who plays Johnny Jones, the lead character in the film. And I thought it was really important that the actors got involved in the music, so they had credibility when they were singing songs or posing for songs that were attributed to them, that it was running through their veins as much as The Alarm runs through mine. And so I think that helps a lot. And then right at the end, Sara came up to me and said, well, I need one more song. It's like, wow, you've had 25 already. And but she sent me an email which was her description of Johnny Jones. And in a way, I could see it as being a description of myself and our fans and everyone involved in the film. It's a real stand-up film. Everyone is a can-do sort of person that's in the movie. And I wrote a song about all that, and it's called A Breed Apart, and it closes the film, and it's on the soundtrack album, and it's already a massive hit with the Alarm fans all over the world.
I say we give them what they want. We hire a load of spotty kids to stand in for us, mime our music.
Free rock and roll! Free rock and roll! Free
free rock and roll. Destroy the system, start a revolution in your living room now.
Thrill is a very big, important part of the film, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it is.
And you've got a lot to thank them for as a community getting this film made.
Like without Real being behind us and the generosity of people from Real, we simply couldn't have got it made, because it became like a real community project. And we needed actors, but we only had so much money to pay, and so we gathered all the local talent. And for instance, I asked around if anyone knew anyone who'd be good at playing a policeman, and it got back to the Chief of Police of Denbighshire, so he came to play our policeman. That's pretty cool. And in the process threw in a motorway for us and our parking tickets, and so we really lucked out. And then, everybody got behind us, and a lot to do with Mike Peters as well. We both come from the same town, and people will do a lot for Mike. I don't know what went down my throat then. People will do a lot for Mike Peters, and I'd like to think they do a lot for me, but they did tremendously because of all the work that Mike's done in the town and for the hospital, and so it was a really great thing. I was in a band called The Fractures, who were managed by Mike's first band, The Toilets, and it was the summer before I left home that he managed our band. So it's just this great kind of sense of return that we come back and make this film together, and it's just been fun.
Is it as well for you, co-writing and directing it, because it's such it takes you back to a personal story, it enables you to connect to the material?
Well, it was more like the world of it I knew, and then to be allowed to shoot in your hometown, how much safer can you feel? Unless you've committed some crimes in your hometown, it's really nice to be able to shoot there, So I just felt safe. And sometimes when at the end of the day, I always think a story, no matter what whatever ends up on the screen, really it's just a story, a camera lens, and some people telling that story. So what was wonderful about doing this in my hometown is it felt closer to that than sometimes I've been in Hollywood, I've been at Disney, which I loved as well, but you also have a lot more politics and stage managing. So I didn't really have any politics to deal with, and everyone was like, how can I help you? How can I help you? And it was really like of that spirit, let's put a show on in the barn, that kind of thing, So I'm really glad we're here. It's a great feat, and it's because of everybody involved, and because of Craig Shun and Altiv Media and Andras Hamori and a lot of great people that were in the Empire Leicester Square.
I think we're ready to open the floodgates. For this to work, it's got to appear like you spent every waking hour together.
We are practicing, we're getting good.
When you make them look a bit younger, add some acne. Acne coming up.
Music's threaded really through your career as a performer, so when you were presented with this script, you must have been quite excited.
Well, to be honest with you, what you're seeing on stage now, I don't think is what was written on the page. But it's part of Sarah's process of work, there's a lot of improvisation. And in fact, I only just remembered that I went up there and I was going to be the drummer. And it was only while I was up there that she said, oh, actually, no, you can have those lines, you've got more lines, because the guy who plays the drummer isn't an actor, he's actually a drummer. I mean, he's not a professional actor. So I think Sarah suddenly went, hang on a minute, I've got a professional actor here, he's a drummer. Oh, you drum, Keith, you play the bass. So that's how it happened, really.
Is that quite fun for you to be spontaneous and be in the moment?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was really good. It was great to work with Mike, and Phil. Phil's a damn fine guitarist, I mean, he actually is just an old rocker, to be honest with you.
Well, you got to perform as well and record, didn't you?
That was great. We got to perform at a castle. Well, you see it in the film, and that was fantastic. It was really good fun, actually. It was great. Yeah, it was great.
It's a comedy, but there's also a serious note about ageism within the music industry.
Yeah.
Was that something that interested you?
No, not really. No, I don't read scripts that well. No, that wasn't a consideration.
And do you think attitudes have changed over the years since this actual occasion happened with like online marketing and being able to?
Look, I mean, the whole industry is fractured without a shadow of a doubt. But the idea, the concept, and the actual practice of exploitation of artists, believe me, hasn't gone away. You know, I know enough people in the industry anyway, to know that there are certain people now who are down with the kids, and I know that they are totally and utterly bought out by multinationals. They own them lock, stock and barrel. They tell them what to do. They have to be in commercials. That's part of their remit. So, you know, a lot of young artists are taking the king's shilling, but it's not quite so glaringly obvious as it used to be.
That was Rock Sound magazine on the phone. I've also had a call from MTV.
Whose idea was it to actually start this band?
Tell us about the poppy fields.
Well, we're a young band who have come together to create this hoax, who mime along to an older band's hit single, because record labels won't take them on, so they hire a bunch of spotty kids to mime their music. So I'm that guy.
Well, the story is based on truth,
yeah.
And so it's based on the group The Alarm. They were around before you were even born, so what did you do to prepare?
I mean, it was good to speak to Mike, because Mike was around a lot of the time, kind of helping us out with the music side of things, and I just watched a bunch of bands. Like, I've always been interested in bands anyway, so it was just about kind of watching frontmen really and seeing how they created that kind of attitude and trying to kind of channel that, I guess, yeah.
And was it interesting for you, because we're dealing with the concept that once you're past a certain age, you're no longer, you're dispensable really, so did you sort of, by making this film, learn something from making it?
Yeah, I think I always knew that the music business was a bit like that, because I think when you're young, it's, you know, music are always looking, well, in a lot of things they're looking for the next young big thing, you know, and I think bands like The Alarm, who have created a career out of music and can, you know, through the years carry on doing that, are really brilliant, because I think a lot of the people in our charts today won't be around in 5 years' time, you know.
The single shots of the newest, snottiest and best kids on the block.
They are falling for it.